Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Crack Competition. My name is Ayushi Dubey and in today's video we are going to discuss about Revolt of 1857, the first war of independence. But before we move forward, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel and share the video with your friends. The playlist for Modern India has been uploaded on YouTube channel. Please go visit the same. The link for the same will be given to you in the description box. Now let's begin. Revolt of 1857, the first war of independence. So it was the 1857 revolt was the first organized resistance against the British East India Company. It began as a revolt of sepoy of the British East India Company army, but it eventually secured the participation of masses, which makes it very impactful. The revolt is known by the several names like the Sepoy Mutiny, the Great Rebellion, the Revolt of 1857, etc. It began on May 10th, 1857, when Mangal Pandey, the 34th Native Cavalry, revolted against the use of greased cartridge and spread to various parts of northern and western India. But later, due to certain consequences and certain reasons, the revolt was suppressed on September 20th, 1857. Now, what were the causes why the revolt 1857 began? So, there were many reasons, which was not just a one day thing, but over the past 100 years, in the last battle of Plassey 1757, various causes led to the revolt of 1857. The first one being the political cause. The British wanted to expand their empire. The British policy of expansion was the root cause of all. They introduced certain policies like doctrine of lapse, subsidiary alliance, effective control, which led to the resentment among the Hindu leaders as well as the Mughal leaders. The large number of Indian rulers and chiefs were dislodged, arousing the fear in their mind of others ruling families who apprehended the similar fate. उनको ये लगा कि उनका एम्पायर, उनका साम्राज्य उनसे छीना जा रहा है. जैसे when Rani Lakshmibai's adopted son was not permitted to sit on the throne of Jhansi, Satara, Nagpur and Jhansi were annexed under doctrine of lapse. Jaipur, Sambalpur and Udaipur was also annexed upon the same thing. The annexation of Awadh by Lord Dalhousie in 1856 on the pretext that there is a maladministration led thousands of nobles, officials, retainers and soldiers jobless. This converted Awadh, a loyal state which was earlier a loyal state, into a hotbed of discontent. Okay, so this was the political cause which led to the people to resent the Britishers. Now, what is doctrine of lapse? Doctrine of lapse was prepared by Lord Dalhousie in 1840. It involved the British prohibiting a Hindu ruler without a natural heir from adopting a successor, and after the ruler died or abdicated, annexing his hand. Meaning कि अगर किसी रूलर ने अडॉप्ट किया है किसी एक सन को, then that son, the adopted son, cannot be a successful heir. Only a natural heir can be the heir. So this led to a resentment. Okay, now we move to the next cause, that is economic cause. The rural areas, the zamindars were infuriated because heavy taxes on the land and stringent, very strict method of revenue collection was followed by the company. Many of these people were unable to meet the heavy revenue demands, and they were not able to repay the loans, or they were not able to pay the taxes, which eventually led them to lose their land which they had held for generations. It created a resentment against the British. Large number of sepoy belonged to the peasant classes and had family ties in village, so the grievances of the peasants also affected them. The Industrial Revolution in England, there was an influx of British manufactured goods in India, which led to the industry, the cottage industries, particularly textile in India, the handicraft industries in India, which was expensive. Now to the ground because there was a cheaper material available and they were not ready to spend a large amount on these handicrafts. So these were, the economic causes which led to the revolt. Now we come to social and religious causes. The Western civilization was now rapidly, spreading in India, and it had an alarming concern all over the country. There were interference in the religious working of the country, like the abolition of sati, the female infanticide legislation, legalizing widow remarriage. The Indians believe that they are fabricating, they are destroying the social structure of India. The introduction of Western method of education was directly challenging the orthodox of Hindus as well as Muslims. Even the introduction of railways and telegraph was viewed by the people as suspicion that they are going to destroy the moral fabric or the social fabric of the country. This led to a resentment which led to the people being angry towards the British, and they have been bottling up all these feelings over the years, which eventually led to the revolt of 1857. Now the last one is the military cause. 1857, also known as Sepoy Mutiny. The Indian Sepoy formed more than 87% of British troops in India and they were considered as inferior to British soldiers. An Indian sepoy was paid far more less amount of money than a European sepoy of the same rank. They were required to serve in areas which were far away from their homes. In 1856, Lord Canning issued the General Service Enlistment Act, which required that sepoy must be ready to serve even in British land across the sea. And at that time, it was considered a sin when a person, move or traveled across the sea. So this also resulted in the resentment against the British. Now we come to the immediate cause. What was the trigger point? What was the immediate triggered point? And that everyone know is the incident of greased cartridge. A rumor was spread that the cartridge which the new rifles were introduced were greased with the fat of cows and pigs. Cow being the holy animal for Hindu and pigs being prohibited for the Muslim. Before holding these rifles, the sepoy had to bite off the paper of the cartridge, and both Hindu and Muslim sepoy refused to do the same. Lord Canning tried to make amends for the error, and offending cartridge were they were withdrawn, but the damage was already done. There was unrest in various places. In March 1857, Mangal Pandey, a sepoy in Barakpur, refused to use the cartridge and attacked his senior officer. He was hanged to death on 8th April. On 9th May 1805, soldiers in Meerut refused to use the new cartridge and were sentenced to 10 years of imprisonment. These immediate cause, these bottleneck causes led to the revolt of 1857. Now, where these revolt started? After Meerut, they make Bahadur Shah Zafar in Delhi, the last Mughal king, as the head of the rule. The revolt also spread to Kanpur, where Nana Sahib and Tantia Tope, took over the charges. In Jhansi, Rani Lakshmibai took over the charge. In Lucknow, Begum Hazrat Mahal. In Bihar, Kuwar Singh, and in Bareilly, Khan Bahadur, they took over the charge, and they by all their means started to revolt against the Britishers, and the revolt 1857 spread among the masses. Now we come to suppression of the revolt. The revolt was suppressed by the Britishers on September 20, 1857, when they captured Delhi. Bahadur Shah Zafar was captured and he was sent to exile. The British adopted the policy of divide and rule. They also won because they had far more superior weapons compared to Indians, and there was a lack of unity among the rebels. Everyone had a different reason why they were revolting against the British. There was no freedom. They don't wanted freedom. They wanted the solution. They were angry. They wanted revenge, and that is the kingpin. That was the point which the British exploited and which led to the suppression of the revolt. There are many more reasons why the revolt failed, and that was there was lack of coordination between the person who took the charge and civilians. The civilians, though they were involved in masses, but everyone had a different reason, and since they were spread, there were geographical limitation. There were no central leadership. Although Bahadur Shah Zafar was made a kingpin of the same, but he was very old and he was captured and he was sent to exile. The people in India had far more lesser equipped and inferior weapons to fight compared to the modern arms and the discipline of the army of the Britishers. So these are the reason why the revolt of 1857 failed to get the required result, although it created an impact. Now what the consequences and impact of 1857? The Jawaharlal Nehru has once said that the revolt was the first expression of organized resistance. The company rule, the East India Company was abolished after 1857 and the crown took over India. That is, the queen were directly involved and directly took over India. Okay. There was a creation, and we could witness a Hindu Muslim unity. वो लोग साथ में मिल के आए. The Britishers also painted a picture of Indians at wise man burden, because they started to show that India are uncultured. They don't know how to dress, how to wear. It is their responsibility to make them educated and ready for the world. This also created a negative impact for Indians, which till now we could find certain racist slurs in other Western countries because of the picture painted by the Europeans and the Britishers of the same. British Parliament on August 2nd, 1858 passed an act for the better government of India. The act declared Queen Victoria as the sovereign of British India and provided appointment of Secretary of State for India. The direct responsibility for the administration of the country was assumed by the British Crown, and the company rule was abolished. Queen Proclamation was issued on November 1st, 1858, and thereby British East India Company was abolished and Queen's rule was started in India. So this was the role of 1857 and revolt of 1857. I hope the video is useful. At last, I would like to end the channel by giving you a mains question which you could practice. The question is, the revolt of 1857 is also called the Sepoy Mutiny. Considering this statement, discuss the reason for the revolt of 1857 as well as its failure. Write the answer for the same in 150 words, and do let me know in the Telegram channel. The link for the same I will give you in the description box. Thank you so much, and please do subscribe to the channel and share the video with your friend. Thank you.